everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm continuing making Harvest Moon, or technically Story of Seasons, characters into Sims for this mini series I'm doing. Like I said, I'm not sure yet if I'm going to recreate my Farm and Melody series or not, but today we are focusing on the Popuri family, which consists of Rick, who you see me making right here, and his sister Popuri, I believe is how you pronounce her name. I'm not 100% sure. When I was younger, I used to say like Popuri. Let me know in the comments what you think, how you're supposed to say her name. Their mother, Lillia, and then Kai, who is Popuri's love interest. Also, what do you guys think about Rod, Lillia's husband? Now, for you, like, just a refresher, Lillia has been sick all her life, and Rod supposedly went to find this really rare flower that only blooms every so many years, but he's been gone forever at this point. Do you think that he's still looking for that flower, or do you think he left his wife and kids? I personally think that he left them, but let me know in the comments what you think. So, I made a series, like a little fan art series called Farming Melody, and Jill, who is from DS Cute, was technically the main character in there, and Jack and Claire, they're both in there as siblings, but originally it wasn't my plan to add those two. They just kind of popped up in my head while I was writing the series. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I think this would be a good extra level of character development. I won't go into details and like give spoilers and stuff, but like Rick was originally like the main love interest, but later as I was writing the story, things did change a little bit, and like I said, I'm not gonna spoil it. Just in case if you want to watch it, you're free to watch it. Just please bear in mind it's not very good. Like, I'm still proud of it because I did make it and I put it out there, and I actually got quite a bit of views. Like, my worst one as far as views go, I think only had like 1,000 or 2,000 views, but like my best one had over 6,000 views as far as views go. And like the first two episodes, they were made on Microsoft Paint, so it was not good at all. I did end up making the rest of them on GIMP because this one girl actually introduced me to the program, and she showed me how to use it. She really helped out a lot. She gave me like sprites and everything I could use, because I was kind of editing my own that I couldn't find like on the internet and everything, and she really helped me out so much because some of my characters looked a little bad. I lost contact with her, but I will say that she was working on a series, like a game called Taylor Tales, and I don't know if she's really still working on it or not. I did look it up a couple months ago just to see if it was still a thing, and it looked like they had actually really progressed on it, so maybe they're actually going through with it. I didn't have a lot of time to really look into it, so if you want to check that out, go ahead and support them. I'm sure they'd appreciate it. It looked pretty cool from what I had seen. Well, anyway, so as far as these characters go, Popuri, hopefully I'm saying this right, I absolutely adore her. She is so cute, and like, yeah, she's considered immature and everything, but I feel like maybe it's just because she was kind of babied her whole life. You know, her brother's like overprotective, her mom's sick, so she's kind of not really able to be the best mother, and unfortunately she just didn't get a chance to really grow up. I'm actually really interested to see if they change a lot with the characters to kind of monetize them more. Like, I know that they changed their looks a little bit, and I know that there's actually gonna be like open marriage, as far as not open marriage, but like if you're a guy, you can marry either a guy or a girl, and vice versa. If you're a girl, you can marry a girl or a guy. I think you have to somehow unlock it though, but I don't know. I won't have the game until next month. I'll get it at the same time as everyone else does. Fortunately, I don't have any early access, even though I really wish I would. I probably was one of the biggest Harvest Moon fans out there after my best friend introduced me. They're probably the number one Harvest Moon fan, but I keep saying Harvest Moon because I was so used to Harvest Moon all these times. But it's now Story of Seasons. Any Harvest Moon game you find is not like after 2013, I believe, is not a real Harvest Moon game. It's basically a ripoff. I and don't come at me if you do enjoy the new Harvest Moon games. I personally have not enjoyed what I've seen or played from the newer ones. So, what I've seen as far as story seasons go definitely seems to stick a little bit more. I mean, they had to change some things still, to get with the times, but I I still feel like Story of Seasons at least still has the old Harvest Moon feel, which is what I grew up with. So that's what I like. Now, people that are younger than me, they grew up with possibly this new Harvest Moon, so they might like that better. And that is totally fine. We're all allowed to like our own things. We're all allowed to have our own opinions. Totally fine. And I won't hold it against anyone. And I hope you don't hold it against me. I do know one thing in the Switch, and it's really disappointing. There are not actually rival marriages, but apparently you can see the first two rival events, at least according to people that played the Japanese version. I don't know how much of it's going to be true for the English version, but considering they didn't add it for the Japanese version, they probably won't add rival marriages for the English version. Doesn't really make sense for them to have to do all this extra work, though I really wish they would. Maybe they'll do like some kind of downloadable custom content, or maybe like an update like in the future. It really is disappointing to me because I actually really do love the rival marriages. Though I will say, one problem with the rival marriages back in More Friends in Mineral Town was if Rick and Karen cannot get married until Popuri gets married. So if like your character would marry Kai, that means Popuri is never married. So Rick and Karen can't get married. And that always stunk for me because I thought Kai was really interesting. Well, to be honest, I liked all the male bachelors and all the female bachelorettes. I loved all of them from this game. My opinion here, but top notch, my favorite Harvest Moon game I had ever played, or Story Seasons game I had ever played. I never actually got a chance to play 64 because I never had a Nintendo 64. I was a little young at that point, so I didn't get a chance to play that game. But for what I saw of it, it looked really good. And there was that Magical Melodies game, I think, too. That one looked really good, too, but unfortunately, I never got a chance to play it. I don't know what game system that was for offhand. I don't know if that was for 64 or if that was for GameCube. Either way, I didn't have those game systems when I was young. The first game system I had, I think we had the first PlayStation 1 and then PlayStation 2, possibly. I know I had that at my mom's. I'm not sure at my dad's. But like the first actual gaming system I had that was mine was the Nintendo DS Lite because my grandmother ended up getting it for me. She scored high and low on eBay trying to get me one the year it came out, and it was months after Christmas time because she wanted to get that for me for Christmas. Actually, my little sister too, but unfortunately they were sold out in the stores because people were buying them out and then selling them for crazy prices on eBay, and she was not going to spend that much money for one, and I didn't expect her to. So I was really appreciative she got me that, and that honestly really got me in my love of gaming and everything because like I said, my best friend introduced me to this Harvest Moon series, the More Friends in Mineral Town game, and I just absolutely loved it so much. But going back to the characters, Kai here, he was always the hardest one for me to woo because he was only there in the summertime. And that first year, his favorite gift is pineapples, and pineapples pretty much aren't ready until the very end of the season. So if you did start growing them at the very beginning of the season, you pretty much were going to be in trouble because you may not even get a harvest of them depending on what time. and I think the pineapples were really expensive, to be honest. The first year when my first gameplay actually through, I ended up not being able to marry any of them. I was originally going for Gray, and then I no, yeah, I was originally going for Gray, and then I saw the last heart event for Gray and Mary, and they ended up getting married right after, and I was so upset. And then I went for Rick, and the same thing happened that he ended up having his last heart event with Karen. I didn't realize at the time that I was 4 years in, and the 4 year mark meant that rivals could start getting married. And I kind of saw all these rival marriages accidental. And I think I had started also going for Cliff, and then he and Anne got married. And at that point, I just gave up that save file and restarted because I was just very upset at that point because everyone I was going for had already pretty much seen all the events they needed to have, and they were gonna get married at any time. I didn't even have the option of Kai. I think he was like blue or purple heart with me at that time, but he had already been married to Popuri that year, and unfortunately, I didn't really put the two and two together that I should have tried to prevent at least them from getting married until I could marry Rick. Alright, so you can find all these characters on my gallery. I will link the name in the description below. You can also see it at my end title screen. It's Mystic Magic Dream because unfortunately I wasn't able to fit the actual username I wanted. As far as EA goes, they had a character limit. I also will link all the custom content in the description below. Please like this video if you enjoyed this content. Leave a comment before you go. Subscribe if you're new to my channel. Share this video with a friend and all that good stuff. And alright, I'll see you guys next time. And I hope you all have a magical day. Goodbye!